got a 3-time winner, 2-time winner singer, 2-time winner writer, and with a crossover.
Yeah, I did it. I sort of singing Shay's song "What's Another Year." Then I wrote "Hold Me Now" and I sang that myself, and then I wrote "Why Me." And Linda sang that. So I got all the combinations you can get.
Absolutely, and 3-time winner. That's an absolute record that probably can never be beaten.
You know, like sort of, I don't think so, but not in my lifetime. You know.
No.
I'm just thinking how many more years I got left.
Yeah, but the way the Eurovision has gone, it's really changed a lot. But the fact of one country winning that amount, like we have won a lot.
Yeah, but you know that there is a huge difference in the way we look at it here, and the way it's looked abroad. I mean, Germany's kind of caught somewhere between the national song contest in Scandinavia and other countries, and Ireland. Like they make a big TV show of it. But if you go to Scandinavia and you look at their national song contest, I mean, I was the guest on the national song contest in Denmark this year, and there was like 20,000 people. They did it in the big X Factor theatre, you know, like sort of in Denmark, and it was like it was a huge thing, huge production, huge amount of money pumped into it. Sweden, they run 6 weeks and like sort of involve all of the biggest stars, Thomas Ledin and things like this, and the final is in front of 20,000-30,000 people. Just the selection process to go to the Eurovision. So it's no wonder they come up with better, you know, like sort of with better entries.
But do you think they've all gone a bit X Factor-ish with the whole thing?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the whole thing has. Don't
but
you
think that's yeah, absolutely. But do you not think that's taken away from the original concept of the Eurovision was a songwriters competition?
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you're saying, you know, and honestly. But the thing is that it's like beating your head against a wall. You can't. There's so you know you can't drag back time and take it back to where it was. But then
that'd be like What's Another Year, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no. The thing is, if you ask me, I bring back jury voting,
absolutely,
because it's less open to abuse than like sort of this phone-in voting. I'd also bring back orchestras. Countries should have the choice of whether to use a full orchestra or not just backing tracks.
Yeah.
But I would bring that back because I thought like the orchestra always added a sense of occasion to a singer like someone like myself. An orchestra.
Sorry, just interrupt you there for a second. There's backing tracks in the Eurovision now.
It's all backing tracks in the Eurovision.
Wow. Sorry, that's news to me because, you know...
You don't see one live musician on stage, apart from the guys that are miming on stage with the instruments.
I'm shocked, because it was all about the writing of the music.
Yeah, well, that's you know, but that's saying you won't get that back now. The reality of it is that even back in when they were you know trying to do away with the orchestras, they still insisted that each country. You could go there with your backing track and the orchestra would play on top of the backing track. You'd have strings on top of the track and stuff like this. But then eventually, from a financial point of view, they said it was too expensive, so they got rid of it. I'd get rid of some of the technical stuff and bring back the orchestra.
But strip it right back down to the core music, I think
that's what they're doing in Sweden this year, from what I've heard. From the music point of view, they're putting less money into the production of the Eurovision and more into the into the artists, into the music and stuff like this. That seems to be where the focus is going now.
Absolutely, and you know, I think as well, what's happened in Europe and with the countries and politics, that all the new countries come in over the last, 10, 15 years, that they've kind of brought in a more dancing, tassels, stage show kind of thing.
I think like there's always been such a eclectic mix of music in the Eurovision. You have people from the Mediterranean, music coming in. You have the German dance rhythms coming in. You have the Scandinavian Europop stuff that was happening. The only thing that's joining everything at the moment is that it's like X Factor, in so much as that you see the artists and everything. They are like the X Factor number 2 and 3, not even the winners, 2 or 3 from the different years that have come before or whatever. And to me, it's just like maybe I'm old-fashioned and maybe I'm talking not out of the correct orifice, but
you didn't say bollocks there.
I was going to say arse, like but the thing
is, it's okay. Wait, to follow up with that, it's after 10 o'clock.
When you look at the Eurovision today, it really is very representative of, we were very lucky last year. A song like Euphoria won because it was really interesting and really different. The choreography was minimal, pulled back to very intimate. There was no flashing lights and everything. No more than was absolutely necessary, the stage thing, but it was a great performance with a great song, and but it was a dance song, and it was relevant to people that are around today. And the thing is that's why out of how many countries are in it this year, there'll be at least 30 of them with dance songs going the same direction, because there is no originality anymore. There's nobody around that's making anything original, and that's why Inchiquin is interesting for me, because there's a fusion of a Turkish type of music, you know, more Oriental, together with European, with like sort of with a live kind of raunchy, you know, rocky sound, and it might just be time for, you know, if you look at some of the winners like Alexander, this the guy from Norway, playing fiddle. That was very Eastern European, Russian kind of the fiddle effect. And you look at some of even the rhythm of the Euphoria. That's not a normal rhythm. You know, like up, 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 up. You know, like sort of. I won't go into the technical side of it, but like sort of even the tempo of it. You know, like sort of it's always something. There's a great producer once said to me, "You know what makes a hit record? It's the hump on the back."
Just don't get a hump.
No. The thing is that when you hear it the first time and you go, "What was that? I'm not quite sure." And you do, "I like
kind
that."
of the
And then you hear it the second time, you go, "No, I like that." And each time you hear it, it grows, and then that you keep looking for the thing that you weren't sure about to begin with.
Absolutely.
That's the hump on the back, and that's, you know, I think that's very true about most hit records. You know, with "Hold Me Now," for instance, the hump on the back was probably that last line. What do you say when words are not enough? There was an extra line in the chorus that probably shouldn't have been there. But
you
know,
made it work, didn't you?
But yeah, that's you know, like it's easy. It's amazing what you can do when you're like sort of your heart. Like
Absolutely.
Your heart is in it.
We have to bring it back to Inchi Quinn, and I just want to ask you about the style of music. Like Shay kind of mentions that it was a kind of a bit of U2 inside there. That there was a bit of an eclectic of different areas. I kind of feel that there was kind of the chorus there because of the tin whistle, not the tin, but the whistle, yes, and the mixture between the Turks and the Irish. That there's one thing there that stands out when you have the Turks and the Irish. Both nations have to be, you know, we're both scattered all over Europe. I mean, the amount of Irish in Munich, the biggest St. Patrick's Day parade in Europe is held in Munich. Oh, really?
And the you know, the Turkish the amount of the Turkish second generation, third generation Turkish people living in Germany and working in Germany, Austria, Switzerland. You know, it's like sort of you know, every city you go into, there's a Turkish quarter, and it's the same in Scandinavia.
They were kind of nomads for a long time, weren't they?
They're very settled in Germany and places like this now, and very much part of community life in Germany. And I know that's not hearsay. I know that from first hand because I work and spend an awful lot of time. My office is in Munich and this sort of thing. So that's not bullshit. That's the actual truth. And the thing is that everywhere you go, in every country, you know, like a lot of Turkish people went abroad to find work, and you will find Turkish communities, and they are. You know, look at France. Look at you know, different countries in Scandinavia, the different Scandinavian countries. But then you also look back at the Irish, and if you want to find life anywhere in Europe, you know, like you go to any city, and I still do it. You know, like sort of, you know, you go to an Irish pub, and if there's no life there, they'll know where the life is.
Yeah.
There
usually is life there.
But yeah, that's the thing, and you'll find that. You'll find that too. So you mix the two things together,
and we've come up with Song Cass.
That can't be a bad thing. What I like about the Inch Quinn song is that I like the marriage of the different styles that fit into it, and it doesn't sound like it's forced. It sounds like it works. It sounds like it works. But also, I think it's. I really think it's got a chance. It has a chance at the Eurovision, not just the national. The hardest thing will be for it to get through the national song contest, but I think it'll definitely stand up at the Eurovision. Whereas a lot of the rubbish that they put into the song contest that comes out of it basically has no chance. And I'm tired of hearing in Ireland all these experts talking about Europop and what works in Germany and whatever. It's very easy to sit in Dublin and say they know about it when the majority of them really don't have a clue. Come and live there and work there with me, you know.
Well, Johnny, thank you for talking to us, and it's a pleasure
Mr. Grumpy, I should be called these days.
Well, you can call yourself that. That's fine, but it's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
This is the first time ever,
it is,
and you're an icon and an idol for me because I was a very young boy
your parents told me all. Your parents told you all about me.
No, absolutely, really, real honour to meet you. And
thank you.
Quite frankly, I think maybe I have a crush on him.